Hello, I'm Shelley Rothus, and I'm a different kind of victim. Today we're going to be talking about respect. RESPECT. Find out what it means to me. The R, real, being real in a relationship. That means that you see that person as being important and deserving of being treated right. You're not going to be going behind them, pretending, to be their friend, yet going behind them and being deceitful and betraying them. Being real. E, empathy. Most people just know it as the definition of understanding. You can understand many things, but does that necessarily mean the same as empathy? No. Empathy is a very complicated word to understand. Empathy means that you understand to a certain extent, but you will never truly understand how that person feels, both mentally and physically, or even why or how. An example of that would be like, say, sexual assault. Say, someone where the word slut extremely offends them, where it really hurts them. Being empathetic means that even if you don't understand, you would be respectful enough not to say things that would offend them in hurtful ways. Now, as for, say, that person, both people were sexually assaulted, and even if they both are against that word and feel hurt or offended by it so badly, do both people have a true understanding of exactly how the other one feels? No, they never will, even if they experience the same thing. Now, say one person out of the two isn't offended by that word. Does that mean that the other person should feel the same way? Absolutely not. Being empathetic means that you respect that person and see them as being deserving of being treated right, and seeing their feelings as important. Next letter, the S. Feeling safe in a relationship. If you don't feel safe in a relationship, what's the point of having it? All you're going to do is feel as though that person is going to do something hurtful, deceive you, and betray you. There's no point of being in a relationship, any relationship, whether it's intimate or a family member or a friend, anyone. There's no point of making that relationship grow or, continue. Next letter, P, personal integrity. My friend Beth. Ah, I love you, girl. Now that woman is very smart. Personal integrity. I'm going to dive into my story in my book that I'm writing. Personal integrity. I was bullied on a social media site known as Facebook. The one person I had been talking about and bringing up that I highly respected and looked up to and truly appreciate and am thankful for was involved in this incident. The bully Pooty Lube had made a hate group based upon me and had people in it demeaning me and putting me down and saying really cruel things. The one person I had high expectations for, like I had discussed in my previous topic based on ghosting, since I had such high expectations, is why it was so hurtful as to what they did. Just like I had high expectations of my father. So these two people, I would say, are the two only people I had the highest expectations of out of anybody else. So when I seen this person say what they did, I felt the same, basically like how I did when my father had, was involved in me getting falsely bake-racked when I was like 15. And I had called him and asked him if he could get me out of there and let me come home. All he could say was, "Sorry, Shelley, you have to stay there." That was just, I Oh man, that was so hurtful. My thoughts of my father and feeling safe, trusting of him went so, but it was extremely hurtful because I never expected that of my father. Just like I never expected him to be abusive. So that all ended there, especially there. I still remember that feeling like it was just yesterday. That's exactly how I kind of felt when I seen that one other person, that friend, say in that hate group that he wants to get rid of me without hurting my feelings. Ouch. That's when I had begun to really see people in a totally different view. After seeing that person, the one I would never expect to do anything or be involved in any way whatsoever, actually have the personal integrity to have the courage and say, yo, this is not cool. Someone with personal integrity, a really good sense of self, and having good morals and values would know that was wrong. And they would have spoke up and, said, that's really despicable, and I don't want nothing to do with it, or you, and I'm out of here. That's someone who had personal integrity, not someone who would get involved or just watch, You know, even just leaving and not saying anything, that's easy. That's not having personal integrity. And this person that I had high expectations for actually did the worst thing, which was engage in it and encourage that bully, going along. A person with personal integrity wouldn't care who it is. Pooty Loop, Mr. Popularity, you know, they wouldn't care what others think or how they would, think of them. They would know what is right and wrong. And they wouldn't care who they say it to or how it'll affect them. Like, ooh, their reputation might go down for defending, that person who is being treated wrong. They wouldn't give a crap. Someone who has personal integrity. Well, very disappointing, and like I said, that's where my view and people in general, based on how I see people in general and trust, and just went totally down, especially if after certain incidents with this person. The next letter, E, effort, doesn't involve my last topic, which would be ghosting. That's not putting effort. Effort should be equal, based on both people putting effort into the relationship, and this goes for all relationships, not just intimate. Meaning, if that person makes effort and time, they would be there for that person. They wouldn't be making up some excuses as to, you know, why they're not there, this and that. They would make time. They would see that person as important. They would put effort into being empathetic and understanding, communicating with that person, not insulting them, being real, all of that. Next letter, communication. It's important to feel safe and be able to discuss your feelings with that person. And that involves all of it: trust, being real, being empathetic, feeling safe, personal integrity, trust, all in the communication. Very important in any type of relationship. Trust, that involves everything that I just said. And like I said, my feelings in general about people went down due to that last person, because it was like a repeat of with my father, since I had looked so highly up upon them like I did with my father, which I kind of regret. But maybe there are people, and I'm sure there are people that are good people, but that's how that situation negatively affected me. I don't see myself having a lifelong relationship. I don't see people doing all of that stuff that I just mentioned and continuing to do it, and seeing others as important and deserving of being treated right. I really don't see people being capable of doing that. Anyways, respect is equal, and it needs to be equal in any type of relationship that you're in if it's actually worth having. Otherwise, it's not worth having. Respect. What does it mean to you? I'm Shelley Rothus, and I'm a different kind of victim. See you next time.